What is your stand on the reproductive health bill?
Okay. Unang-una, ganito, mahaba sagot natin dyan ha. Please bear with me. Population management is an issue in this country. First and foremost, we are, if not now overpopulated, slowly getting there. It is not merely a question of lack of opportunities or resources or hungry children, but now, most specifically now, after last 2 years, culminating in Ondoy, Pepeng, Ramil, and Santi, because of the effects of climate change on us, because of the fact that we are a volcanic archipelago, because of the fact that we are situated in the intertropical convergence zone areas where there are several climatic factors, hazardous areas, which is defined as areas vulnerable to natural calamities, have grown. The converse is that safe, livable areas, particularly in urbanized areas, have reduced. So that makes the population issue more relevant. We have a growth of 1.9 to 2% a year, which is a lot more than other countries. And the Philippines is an archipelago. We have finite territorial resources, and exponentially affected by the fact that these areas are not that safe for living. You have the example of Ondoy, where areas thought not prone to flooding, like the Pasig Coliseum, which was envisioned as an evacuation center, could not be used because it itself was one of the ones flooded. You have the issue of several subdivisions that were not supposed to have been built anyway, but built, and the rest is history. In Bicol, you have a very safe barangay, small population, but half a mountain fell down on it, and the population is now reduced by 3/4, unfortunately, and very tragically. So safe areas are less in the Philippines right now. And with your geohazard mapping supposed to be completed this year, we will know, using a certain year as a base year, these may have changed, which areas are safe and unsafe for living. Okay. Of course, the whole area around Mayon volcano alone is another example. Now, the problem is that's why I said, once again, a moral debate sometimes is very difficult when we get to the proper means to address the problem. The RH bill is dead. It will never pass. And the more we talk about the RH bill, the debate is centered on whether government is the right entity to influence a moral decision. And you know what happens? The debate is centered on that, yet the problem continues to fester unabated. Because we're stuck with addressing the fundamental threshold question for the RH bill, not for the problem, which is the proper guardian of morality, the government or our religious or moral guardians. Let's accept that as a function of policy, that the government is not the rightful guardian of what is essentially a moral choice. Moral choice, whether to have or not children by a couple, and what means to use to address the question between them, amongst them. Let's accept the government is not the proper guardian. But does the debate stop there? No. There is a consequent obligation. Since we accept, we are all Catholics here, the fact that moral choice is a non-governmental prescription, we must not let the debate, though, stop there and say that there is no problem. that would be a fundamental disservice to our country. We must now, the church and other religious institutions must take the responsibility now for educating their flock as to proper or moral responses to a problem, and we must monitor the results, because then accountability must be clear. But if it is not government, it must lie on another shoulder. What that is, religious guardians, a collective church, meaning head and body, corpus and the head, and other moral institutions. However, there is another nuance. Government, as a neutral arbiter, must be willing to support any freely made moral choice by a citizen. And we must work on certain deliverables on a period of time. Because if that growth rate does not go down, the next battles that we will see is not because my religion is different from yours. It's not merely because probably I speak a different language, but because we're lacking water already or lacking livable areas. And that's the most fearsome thing, because our resources, being an archipelago, are finite, more than being a part of a continent.